All rise. Support Court Judge Vanda B is now in session. Justice case number JVB1086, Easley case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Miss Easley, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
So I met Nicole about 9 months ago. She normally comes into town when she is here on a traveling assignment, and the lady next door rents out her home to travel nurses. And so over time, we, kind of clicked and we started hanging out. Her children would come over and play with mine, and we just, became really good friends. And so this particular time, she had another assignment somewhere else, and her current nanny wasn't available. And so I offered to keep the kids. I had just finished special agent school, and I had some downtime. So she was like, well, it'll be about 6 weeks, but I probably just need you for the 2 weeks, and my other nanny will come and get the kids. And I said, okay, cool. I told her, a price. We kind of made the arrangements. And then over time, after the first week, I didn't hear from her. She didn't.
Wait a minute. So after a week of you having her children, she didn't call you, she didn't check on them, no FaceTime, nothing?
I couldn't get her on the phone. I would call, I would send her a text. The kids would even call. I think that the 10-year-old has a phone. He even tried to call. She just wasn't available.
Hold on tight, because this story takes a wild turn right from the start. It all began when Easley agreed to do a simple favor, watching Nicole's kids while she took on a short-term nursing job. The plan: 2 weeks, in and out. But after just 1 week, Nicole disappeared without a word. No calls, no texts, no payments. Even her own child's desperate phone calls were met with silence in court. The judge is already raising an eyebrow, but Easley stays cool, calmly walking through each missed check-in. What seemed like a simple case of unpaid babysitting is quickly unraveling into something much bigger and much darker.
And their ages are 10 and
7.
10 and 7. Okay.
Boy and girl.
Okay.
Yeah. So after the first week, I was like, okay, well, maybe she's just busy. I know nurses, they work 12-hour days. Cool. The second week came around, I didn't get the next payment. The next payment would have been through Venmo. She didn't send me no money. She didn't send the payment. I still couldn't get her on the phone. So at the time, my fiance had just got back in town, probably a couple days after she had left. And I kind of was telling him about what was going on, and he, was like, well, just give her some time, and, just, to me, nonchalant about it in a way. And so he ended up having to go back out of town for an emergency work trip. And so I remember when he left, that next week when I couldn't get on the phone again, I happened to just call him, and I couldn't get him on the phone. And I was just like, okay, something isn't right. My detectors went off, and
Mine
I was
are
like,
too.
okay. So, so I ended up pulling his location, and I realized they were in the same state.
Oh.
I said, well, maybe that's a coincidence. He travels a lot,
He travels a lot.
He travels a lot.
She travels a lot.
She's a travel nurse. She should only be at the hospital. She shouldn't be anywhere else.
Here comes the twist, and it stings after Nicole vanished. Easley tried reaching out to Nicole's fiancé for help, but he suddenly went off the grid too. Red flags went up fast. Trusting her gut, Easley tracked his location, and guess what? He was in the same state as Nicole at this point. Suspicion turned into certainty finally. During a shaky FaceTime call, Easley heard Nicole's voice in the background. Caught off guard, the fiancé stumbled through excuses. Mumbling something about heading into a meeting, the judge leaned in, sensing the shift, and so did everyone else. This case isn't just about abandoned kids anymore. It's about betrayal, lies, and a love triangle that just came crashing into plain view.
But they both
who's to
travel
say
a
where
lot.
I should be, but okay.
Well, who's to say you should wait your turn?
And so, so I end up, I remember I ended up FaceTiming him, and he didn't answer, which is unusual because he would call every night, he would check in. The communication is never our issue. So once, the next day, now we're probably 2.5 weeks in, I got him on the phone that Wednesday morning, and I happened to hear her in the background.
Keep going.
And so I said, where you at? He said, I'm getting ready to go into a meeting. And I said, oh, okay. I said, oh, okay. And I left it at that.
Oh, wow. I've never held my teacup this long.
So now we're going on, probably now we're 2.5 weeks in, and so I decided to call her again. She ends up calling probably that afternoon, and was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I've been working, and it's just been crazy at work, and, you know, I'm sorry about the kids. And so I was like, well, where you say you was at again? And she told me where she was at, and I was just like, well, what happened to the nanny that was supposed to be coming? And I said, I thought I might have heard Michael in the background. Are you sure, you know, you at work? And she kind of got an attitude and got real defensive. And I said, I'm at work, and, you know, you offered to do the kids, and I'll get you your money, and just...
Oh, the audacity.
Yeah.
You're keeping her kids.
All of that.
And you have kids of your own.
Kids of my own.
Wow.
So I have, and they're older, so I don't, you know, have that problem.
Now the unraveling begins. Ms. Easily confronts Nicole directly, and Nicole's excuses fall apart fast. She blames work, dodges questions, and gets defensive when asked about the missing payments, the nanny, and her fiancé. Meanwhile, the weeks kept dragging on. No money, no pickup, no support. As Easily lays it all out, the judge listens closely. This isn't a messy co-parenting mix-up. It's sounding more like a deliberate dodge. Every unanswered call, every silent day, now sits heavy in the room. You can feel the tension building, and the courtroom edging closer to holding someone fully accountable.
So for her to do that, I was like, okay. So then now we're on the third week. No, nanny didn't show up. I still haven't received payment, and I sent her a text. I was like, look, you need to make an arrangement for your children. I did this out of the kindness of my heart. You know, you got to figure out something. Didn't get a response back. So I ended up getting my fiance back on the phone, and we ended up getting into it. And I said, I asked him the same thing. Where you say you was at again? And I said, well, I talked to Nicole. She said you was with her. I played the reverse psychology thing.
Right.
And he said, huh? Uh-huh. And I said, Nicole said you was with her. You on a work trip? Did you invite her? And so for him, he was like, well, no, man, she popped up on me. And so he didn't know that I really never spoke to her.
Wait a minute. So he went on a secret rendezvous trip with Nicole here.
They both left.
Didn't. Excuse me.
I don't even know if
I was speaking. Hold on 1 second. I was speaking to her. I'll get to you in just a minute, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so I don't even know if she really was at work. At this point now, me and him into it, I'm about ready to go drop her kids and my kids off somewhere and get in my car and get on the road. So at this point...
You didn't do that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. You kind of hesitated.
Changed woman. Yeah, I'm a changed
okay.
woman.
All right.
Yeah.
Now the story shifts. From betrayal to real damage easily describes the toll Nicole's disappearance took, and it wasn't just emotional. Her home was left wrecked. Cabinets broken, a faucet snapped, a toilet clogged, and walls covered in marker scribbles. 3 long months of unpaid chaos. But even through all of it, Easily never threw the kids out. She stayed calm, stayed responsible, and kept her focus where it mattered, on the children's well-being. The judge pauses, visibly moved by the patience and restraint. This moment hits deeper than money. It's about principle. While Nicole disappeared without a trace, Easily stepped up, becoming a full-time parent without ever being asked.
Special agent now, so I have to always think about the things that I do before I do them.
Absolutely.
Right. So yeah, so that's kind of what happened, and so I'm bringing her here today for non-payment and for the damages that her children caused in my home during their stay.
Okay, so are her children still with you?
They are. She has not came. I can't get in touch with family.
So wait a minute. You have been raising her children all of this time?
All of this time.
No.
Wow. Is there anything else you want me to know? Because Chatterbox over here, she keeps interrupting. So I guess she has a lot she wants to say.
No, just besides, I really just want her to get the kids or find a family, find somebody to come get them. I'm not going to put the children out on the street. You know, that's just not me. But, she needs to come get her kids. The damages, they damaged my garage door. They have just been little rugrats and just tearing up the home, markers on the walls, and damaged the cabinets, and the bathroom faucet is hanging off the faucet wall now.
What kind of kids are these?
The toilet is damaged because they would put tissue in there, and then
Probably her kids.
It was just a mess. Mine is 14.
And
Okay, is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to her?
No, that's it for now.
Okay, all right. Now it's your turn.
Nicole finally speaks and instantly digs a deeper hole instead of apologizing. She attacks Easily's character, calling her controlling and nosy. Then she casually admits she was with her fiancé and claims payments were made through their joint account. A story that doesn't make sense. The judge is already fed up. Nicole's attempt to play the victim only highlights the truth. She abandoned her kids and dodged responsibility. Her defense is shaky, and her credibility is crumbling fast.
hi, Judge.
Hi.
I just want to first of all say yes, she is a special agent, and she uses her job on a daily basis. She wants to be in everybody's business, and
I just have one question though. Was your location really where Michael was?
yes.
Oh,
It was.
so you did run off in the
So
sunset
there
with
was
her
no
man.
pop-up. I don't pop up on people.
Right, you just show up.
No, I was already there.
Oh.
Yes. When he came,
So
I was
y'all
already,
planned this.
No, I didn't plan anything.
So tell me how that came about, that you all just so happened to be in the same place.
I am on my assignment, so I'm already stationed to where
Well,
I
we
was.
understand your
And
assignment. We do.
I don't know how he came to be in the same city as mine. I don't know how his job works, but he ended up being in the same city as mine. I have made payments to her. They have a joint account, so it's not my responsibility if he gets the money out before she notices it's there.
That doesn't
but I
make
sent my
that doesn't
payments.
make sense. Why would you be making deposits in their joint account
For
if-
keeping the kids.
No. Wouldn't it make sense for you to just give it directly to her?
Well, that was the agreement, that I was to send the money through the account, not exchange of any cash.
Nicole's excuses keep spiraling. She claims Easily agreed to keep the kids longer, but the judge quickly shuts that down. Not kicking out the kids isn't the same as giving permission. Nicole tries to blame a work extension, but it's obvious she made no real effort to get her children back. Her attitude feels dismissive, treating parenting like an afterthought. The judge makes it clear. Neglect hidden behind excuses is still neglect. Nicole asked for a favor, and instead dumped her responsibility. Now she's about to face the consequences.
So did you tell Michael that the money you were depositing were for their kids?
Yes,
for your
both
kids,
aware
I'm
of
sorry.
that. They were both aware of what the money was going for. I'm not just going to be sending money to a guy. That makes no sense to me. But yes, I was sending her money. She volunteered to watch the kids.
She volunteered to watch them for a temporary basis,
correct.
not weeks, not months, not to still have them.
Yes, but did she tell you that whenever I would call and tell her that my nanny wasn't available or my contract was extended, that she was like, oh, that's no problem,
Well, I think the only reason she said that is, like she said, she didn't want to put the kids out on the street. That doesn't cue you to say, oh, well, let me just leave my children there, right?
Well, if someone's telling you that's no problem, let them stay, and I'm in a whole nother state, no, I wouldn't want my kids out on the street. But
So
if
you
she's
took that as,
voluntarily
excuse me,
telling
you
me,
took that as let them stay permanently?
no,
While you and Michael run off in the sunset?
no, my assignment is only 6 weeks.
Okay, but after 6 weeks, you still didn't go back and pick them up?
My assignment got extended, and when we communicated with each other, she said that was fine. It was extended 2 more weeks. I'm not going to leave my kids with someone permanently.
This is the shift. The judge lays out the real issue. Nicole didn't just drop off her kids, she abandoned them. Easily became the only steady adult in their lives. And now, with Nicole still away, the judge makes it clear. Words don't undo actions. Nicole claims she's picking them up soon, but after 3 months of silence, No one's buying it. The courtroom moves from investigation to decision. Enough stalling. Enough excuses. It's time for Nicole to be held financially accountable, not for babysitting, but for full-on child support.
Okay, it sounds like you've done that, and that's the reason that she's here. I mean, we can't necessarily award damages or anything, but you can definitely be placed on child support if your children are going to remain living with her.
They will not.
She's assuming the parental role of them every single day based on what she said.
Voluntarily.
You voluntarily gave them up.
No.
Yes,
I can get my kids.
Yes, you did.
I can get my kids.
Well, it's a little too late for that. You can go pick them up. Yes. But as of today, because they've been with her, how long have they been with you now at this point?
Now, 3rd month.
3 months? Mm-hmm. 3 months? And they've been living with you?
I've been feeding, caring.
And you're still on assignment?
I am.
Okay, you obviously came here to waste my time because you are definitely going to be paying her some sort of support.
In addition to what I've been paying her?
How much have you been paying her?
She gets $250 a week.
$250 a week for a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old?
Yes.
She's blowing that in 2 days on groceries.
Yes, but that's what she wanted. That's what she...
Yeah, you came here to waste my time. You playing baby games. No, we're not going to do this. What we are going to do...
The judge calculates the damage, and there's no debate. Nicole earns $90,000 a year and was sending just $250 a week for 2 kids, barely enough for groceries. The court adjusts the numbers, setting formal child support at $1,417 per month, factoring in her health insurance payments. Nicole's face says it all: shock and panic. But this isn't punishment, it's balance. Easily has been playing the role of a full-time mother while Nicole disappeared with a joint bank account. The courtroom has heard enough. Support isn't optional when you're still cashing paychecks.
Is put you on child support. Since your children have been living with her this entire time, she's been taking care of them. It doesn't seem like you have any intentions on coming back after your assignment keeps getting extended.
But I'm getting them next week.
Right. On an extended assignment.
Right.
But
I have a nanny.
Okay, well, when you get them back, then you can come back to court and say something different. But until then, I want to make sure that she is at least getting some sort of financial support, because you haven't gotten them before now. You're only saying that because you're in court today. I've seen that before. You have to know I've heard that song and dance. Yeah, that's not going to work. So, how much money do you make a year?
$90,000.
Okay. $90,000 and you sent her? Nothing. $250 a week. How much is health insurance?
$250 a month.
And you're paying that, correct?
Correct.
All right. So, your gross is $7,250. You have 2 children. Do you have any other children outside of these 2?
No, I do not.
All right. So that brings your net to $5,667.87. We take that number.
Nicole tries to defend herself, but the judge isn't buying it, saying you'll get the kids next week doesn't erase 3 months of abandonment, and it certainly doesn't eliminate support obligations. The energy in the courtroom shifts from tense to decisive. Nicole made her choices, and now she's facing the consequences. Easily drops a final bombshell. She's heard Nicole's pregnant. The judge's expression says it all.
By 25%, that brings your monthly child support to $1,417. And I gave you credit to your $250 health insurance.
What was the number?
About right.
Did you need me to repeat it or say it louder?
Please.
Okay, it's $1,417 per month.
But the kids won't be with her.
Well, they are for now, and they have been for the past 3 months. And your assignment with your assignment with your job got extended. So until you pick them up, that's what the situation will be. Now, if you decide to go pick them up and you keep them, right, don't take them back to her, then it can change. But until then, that's what we're going to do.
I'm glad that you know, I'm not married to him because I'll be asking for spousal support. I heard she's pregnant.
Oh.
So that number sounds about right.
She hears a lot.
Well, it doesn't sound like you disagree with anything she said. Yeah, it's right. Is there any other questions?
No questions.
Okay. Do you have anything
No,
further?
thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
The judge confirms the monthly support, $1,417. Nicole protests, but the gavel's already down. She's told plainly, once you pick up your kids and keep them, this can be changed. But until then, the math doesn't lie. The courtroom clears and justice lands. No drama, no appeal. Easily leaves with more than just back pay. She walks away with validation. Nicole showed up with excuses. The judge responded with accountability. And just like that, the court is dismissed. But the weight of this ruling will follow Nicole.